Okay, great. So let's go ahead and start. Again, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today on this webinar. We're going to talk about the Access Server. My name is Sean Gores. I'm a technical sales engineer here at OpenVPN, and I'm very excited to walk you through today's session where we'll cover how to customize certain settings to make our Access Server more secure and optimize the setup, basically. I'm also joined by my colleague Rohit Kalbak. He's our VP of Product Marketing. We'll be answering questions in the background, and if there is anything that needs extra clarification, Rohit will jump in and add insights as we go along. And before we dive in, I want to make a couple of housekeeping notes. Please use the Q&A box for questions. Also, throughout the session, especially when we do the demo, maybe towards the end of the demo that I can take a little bit of time, I'll be sharing some useful links in the chat box so you can copy those and refer to them at later time if you decide to do any of the tips or changes that we talk about here. So everything that I'm going to show throughout the webinar, we have step-by-step instructions that you can follow as well. We have a lot of topic to cover here, so especially during the demo, I may go a little bit too fast, but again, we'll give you the step-by-step instructions. So today our agenda is here. We're going to very quickly do an introduction about the OpenVPN and Access Server, less than a couple minutes, and then we're going to jump into admin user interface of our Access Server. We look at how to change the branding on an admin and client web UI. We're going to talk about log reports and some other useful tips, such as DCO certificates, local user passwords, and so on. So my goal is by the end of the session, you have a solid understanding of how to tweak these settings and make your Access Server more secure and user-friendly. So without any further ado, let's dive in and start this webinar. So let's see, here we go. First of all, OpenVPN, we are a global leader in private networking and cybersecurity. We're helping businesses and organizations secure their networks in a flexible, scalable, and cost-effective way. So our mission at OpenVPN is simple: to provide secure, reliable, and easy-to-use communication services, making online experiences safer for everyone. As you can see on the screen, we have two products, Cloud Connexo and Access Server, and I'm going to come back to those. But what I want to mention here is that cyber threats are constantly evolving. So the old way of trusting everything inside the network just doesn't cut it anymore. And this is where ZTNA, or Zero Trust Network Access, come in play. Instead of assuming anything is safe, by default, ZTNA takes a never trust, always verify approach. So every user and device has to prove who they are every time before getting access to resources. So this keeps your network locked down, reduces security risk, and make it much harder for unauthorized users to slip through the holes, which is especially important in today's remote and hybrid work environment. So if implementing ZTNA is your goal, both OpenVPN solutions provide a strong foundation. Cloud Connexo is a fully managed solution that enables secure, segmented access to company resources without exposing your entire network. It allows organizations to enforce strict access control, ensuring users and devices only connect to what they need. It's packed with a lot of features such as location context policy, device posture, device identity verification, and IDS and IPS, content filtering, and you name it. There are a lot of features packed in this product. Now, Access Server is the product that we're going to talk about today. Is a self-hosted solution that enables secure remote access while allowing administrators to implement policies that align with the ZTNA or Zero Trust principles, like user authentication, access control, encryption, and so on. So both solutions help businesses reduce risks, enhance security, and improve network visibility. the key component of a successful ZTNA strategy, basically. So whether you're looking for a cloud-based or self-hosted approach, OpenVPN provides these tools to make a zero trust a reality. Now, if you are not familiar with these products, or if you have played around with the products, but you have more questions, we do have a weekly group demo, or what we call it office hours. These demos happens on every Thursday. It has 2 sessions for each product. As of next week or in a couple of weeks, we're going to have 2 days, Tuesdays and Thursdays. This is a very casual, interactive, informal type of settings, no pressure sessions. Rohit and I, we get on that session, we answer questions, show you the most common use cases, and walk you through any type of questions or configurations that you may would like to implement. Now, the easiest way to get on those demos, you just go to our website, openvpn.net. You can see the request demo, click on that. And there is a link here which says join our weekly group demos. When you come here, again, as I said, right now we have only Thursdays showing, but as of next week or the week after, we're going to have Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then you choose what product you want to see the demo or talk about, and then choose the timeline and register and get on those demos. As I said, those are very informal type of settings, no pressure. We just answers questions and help you to understand the products and the features that comes with the products. Okay, let's talk about Access Server now. So what is Access Server? I mean, this webinar is designed for people that they know about the Access Server, or they already have Access Server in place. But in case if you have someone on the call that they don't know, I'm just going to give you a very quick rundown at what Access Server is. The short answer is that Access Server provides secure access to your private business network in the cloud or on-prem. So Access Server, again, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, it's our self-hosted solution. Make it easy to quickly deploy a secure remote access and site-to-site solution. And it features a user-friendly web-based administrator, which we're going to see, admin web UI, which we're going to see in a second. And comes with the built-in OpenVPN Connect app distribution for seamless access. So it's also fully compatible with the OpenVPN open source projects, meaning that deployed VPN works right away with the OpenVPN protocol compatible software on a number of routers and Linux devices. Access Server gives you the essential tools to securely connect and protect your network. You can see on the slides some of the bullet points. Obviously, with the cloud networks and mobile enforcers, businesses enjoy incredible speed and flexibility, but that also means security needs to be stronger than ever. It requires layered of securities, basically. Providing remote workers with access to online resources and applications come with its own set of security challenges. So secure private access to online services and SaaS applications even is critical for businesses of every sizes, but you can use Access Server to make those secure. A site-to-site network helps keep your entire enterprise protected by interconnecting your corporate network with remote offices. And then you can rest easy knowing that your employees have safe, reliable internet access no matter where they work if you choose to use the secure internet access. And then with the rise of IoT devices, obviously, it's more important than ever to stay ahead of potential security threats. So to summarize this very quickly before we jump to the demo, what makes Access Server different? First of all, it creates isolated and secure private net. It's very easy to install, set up, and manage it through the admin UI, and support both site-to-site and remote access networking. Also handles high volume of incoming connections. If you cluster of access server, you create a cluster of access servers, you can do load balancing and use it for redundancy. And one of the good things about that is that subscribed connections can be fully utilized by sharing across multiple access servers. So that was my little quick introduction about the Access Server product. I'm just gonna stop here or pause for a second. I want to make sure that Rohit doesn't have anything to add to this. If not, we can jump to the demo.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna rebrand this page. The user interface, either the admin web user interface or client web user interface. The default, the OpenVPN Access Server logo, we can rebrand it to our logo. In order to do so, we need to have a logo. The recommended format is a PNG and with the transparent background. And the size, 340 pixel wide and somewhere between 50 or 300 pixel high. I already have my logo set up here, as you can see, with no background, and we're going to use this logo. Now, first thing we need to do, we need to transfer our file to our Access server. I am using a Windows machine, so I'm going to use the WinSCP to connect to my server. So let's go ahead and type the IP address here and the username. Oops. And let me make sure that the authentication key is here. Here we go. And we're gonna log in. So we're connected to our Access server here. We need to go to our user directory and then local directory and OpenVPN AS. So let's go ahead and go to user and then local OpenVPN AS. This is where we want to transfer our file. So this is my logo. I want to transfer it to this directory here. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop it here. Okay, the file is here. Now we need to update our as.conf file. So we do an SSH session. I already have an SSH session going on here. So let's go ahead and type the command. In a second, I'm going to put the instructions or the link to the web page that gives you step-by-step instructions here. So I'm going to type this. And here we want to locate where it says the sa.company name. And here it is, sa.company name. This is what we're looking. And we're going to add an extra variable here. So let me copy the link and I'm going to paste it here. And our file name is ovnlab logo.png. That's it. Let's go ahead and exit. Yes. And hit enter. Now we need to restart the Access Server service. So we're going to do this here. And it is restarted. So let's go ahead and check this out. So this was the original logo. We don't have the SSL certificate on this server, so we're using the self-signed certificate. That's why we're getting this message here. And here we go. Now we have our own logo on the web, on the admin user interface or even client user interface. So even if I go to the client portal, I should see the same logo. And here we go. This is for the clients. So again, a couple of tips here. Make sure that you use a PNG background and the size should be 340 pixel wide and the height you can go somewhere between 50 to 300 pixels. Now, very quickly, if you want to add a name to this server, for example, if we have multiple locations and we want to make sure that people know what location they're connecting to or anything like that, we can add a server name or a name also to this page. And all we have to do is just, if we go back to our SSH session here, we can go back to that same file, the as.conf, and then from here we want to find the sa.company name again. So let's go ahead and find that. Here we go. What we're going to do here, we're going to remove this hashtag and then we're going to rename this. Let's say call it our headquarter office. and we're gonna save it again. Yes, and save it, and we're gonna restart our Access Server service, and let's go ahead and check it out now. So if I restart this, we can see there is a name here that says our headquarter office. So this is good if you want to rebrand your Access Server. Let's go ahead and log into our Access Server now. From here, I want to talk about log reports first. Logs, you can access them by clicking on the log reports under the status. You can see the logs here. If there was an error or something's been happening, you can see it here. Now, by default, Access Server archives a log file when it reaches about 1 megabyte. The number of log files grows endlessly until the disk is full, but we can set up a log rotation. Now, in order to set up the log rotation, we need to reconfigure a couple of files on our server. So I already have an SSH session going on. So very first thing we need to do, we need to open a file named as.conf. Now, if we go to the bottom of the page, then we can add a line, and that line is going to be the log rotate length. Now, if you can, let me add it here. Here we go. So the 1 million byte means 1 megabyte. Now you can change this to whatever number you need to, but I leave it at 1 megabyte here. Now I'm going to save this file and exit, and then I have to restart my Access Server service. So let's go ahead and restart that, and we're done. Now we need to set up a cleanup job for old log files. We can set up a cron job that once in a while deletes old log files. The number of files we choose to retain times the file size of log rotation setting determines how much log data we want to keep in total, ensuring that we never exceed a certain number of bytes used for Access Server log files. So an example of a cron job, let's say that I can set up a job for deleting old log files. We want to clear log files number 15 and higher at 4 a.m. each night. So let's do this. First, let's go ahead and open the cron tab. So I'm gonna open that. Now, if if the first time you try to open it, it's gonna ask you to choose an editor. Mine already opened Nano for me. So again, we're gonna scroll down to the bottom of the page, and here I'm gonna add a couple of lines. So let's go ahead and add. As you can see, it's gonna be the 4 a.m. and the log files 15 and higher. And we can go ahead and save our file here. So what we did here, we basically set up a script to delete file name that are log.15 and greater every night. This way our system keeps the main log file and 14 archived log files. Now let's move on to something else. We're going to talk about the certificates. If you remember a few minutes ago when I tried to log into the admin user interface, we got the error message that says our page is not secure. We can even see the not secure up here and the line through the HTTPS. And that's because we don't have an SSL certificate installed on this Access Server. We're using a self-sign certificate. Now, if you don't want to see this message or you don't want your users to see this message, you can install a certificate. Let me go ahead, log back in here. And we're going to go to configuration and web server. So this is where you can install the certificates. As you can see, you can toggle the switch here to yes, and then you can choose the type of certificates that you want to install. And then once you're done, click on Save Settings. This way you or your users won't see that warning that says the website is not secure. Now, I want to talk about the performance here. When you're online, security should always be a top priority, which is these days for everyone. The more your communications are encrypted, the safer you are, and nobody can argue about that. In the past, encryption could slow things down, but modern CPUs have improved performance significantly. And now OpenVPN is taking it a step further. we've introduced OpenVPN Data Channel Offload, or DCO, a while ago as a new feature designed to boost speed by running outside the kernel space. So basically, DCO integrates the entire OpenVPN data channel within the kernel module while keeping the control channel outside, delivering a faster and more efficient performance without compromising security. And the newer version of Access Server, this is enabled, as you can see it here on their advanced VPN. DCO is supported on Access Server version 2.12.0 and newer. So if yours for any reason doesn't show enabled here, you just need to install it by using this command. I'm gonna post a link in a minute on the chat box with the instructions, the step-by-step instructions on how to install it and how to turn it on your Access Server if it is not already enabled. Now let's move to users permissions and group permissions. A couple of things I want to mention here. There are some settings in Access Server that you can set up at multiple levels or different levels. You can set up those settings at user level, at group level, or system level. Now, if you want to set up something at the user level, obviously you go to user, you click on more settings, and you can make those changes here. For example, if I just want to have this user use a multi-factor authentication, I can come under his account and enable multi-factor authentication. Also, if I want to allow the user change the password through the client web server, we can do this and then enable password strength checking as well. Now, as I mentioned a minute ago, we can do this at the group level also. So if I go to group permissions and select more settings on one of the groups, you can see the same settings here that we can change. You can do the same thing at the system level for everyone. So you can go to authentication tab, and under settings, you can see the local user passwords here. So we can, if we select the allow local user to change password, it is set yes here as by default, so it's a system level. Now, if you scroll down for multi-factor authentication as well, we can enable it at the system level here. Now, while we're here, I want to talk about the password lockout policy. The default numbers are 4 and 900, which is 30 minutes, but these numbers may not comply with your security policies. So you can change those numbers. For example, if you want to do 2 attempts and you want to make this number greater or lower, you can change that here and then click on Save Settings and then Update Running Servers. One last thing I'm going to mention here, as you can see here on the screen, the default authentication system is set up as local, but you can have LDAP, radius, SAML, and PAS only as well. You can extend Access Server authentication methods with a post auth script, which is a post authentication Python 3 script, basically, to add extra security measures like MFA or custom checks. This allows you to implement additional verification steps such as hardware address check or custom authentication methods. Now, I'm going to share this link again in the chat box. There are a number of scenarios that you can use. For example, hardware access registration. This way, Access Server uses a MAC address or UUID from the OpenVPN client to authenticate with the user. Custom authentication scripts, LDAP group mapping scripts, so a SAML group mapping scripts, and so on. So there are, as I said, number of options here that you can use for the post-auth scripts. Every single one of these has a pretty good step-by-step instructions on how to do so. If you decide to use the post-auth script, I highly recommend to follow these steps. So now it's a good time to go back to our slides and continue with our conclusion. Okay, so the close all this out, basically Access Server, OpenVPN Access Server is a robust self-hosted VPN solution designed to secure remote access to your private business network, whether deployed on-prem or in the cloud. Now, some of the key features, as some of them you can see it here, is that data channel offload, obviously the DCO, enhanced data handling efficiency, that's really big. Access control allows precise user access management at the system level, group level, and user level. A flexible deployment, Access Server can be deployed on-prem or in the cloud, basically offering a flexibility to diverse infrastructure needs. User-friendly administration. You saw the admin UI. Multiple authentication method, support a range of the authentication systems, including local credentials, LDAP, SAML, and so on. And one nice thing that you can use multiple authentication system within the Access Server. Just set them up at system level, group level, or user level, different authentication system. Scalable and high availability by using clustering, obviously, of multiple servers. You can enhance load balancing and ensure high availability. And basically, if you look at it, these features collectively make the Access Server a comprehensive, adaptable solution for securing remote access to your business networks. Now, as I promised earlier, I'm going to share some links for the topics that I just talked about. So I'm going to open the floor for any questions. Please, if you have any questions, go ahead, type it in the Q&A box. And Rohit and I were going to try to answer them right now. And then, as I said, give me a second to copy and put these links in the chat box for everyone. Yeah,
Addressing the, I've already answered some questions. Some of them are feature requests, which I'll relay to the product team. Thanks for the feedback. So a couple of questions here. What is the best way to keep up to date with any vulnerabilities that are found? It is best to subscribe to our email lists and newsletters. So we do send out emails to all our customers, and we have a monthly newsletter. The other way is to keep your Access Server updated. I have a question. Would it be possible to have an API hook for logs similar to the authentication plugin? Jose, you have a lot of good suggestions. I'm going to pass it to my product management team. But one of the things that you could do is you could use syslog. So with syslog, you can pull all the logs to a central server, and then you can do your own custom logic there and do some scripting and whatever you want there. That way, the logs from all your Access servers will also be centralized and you can process them all. But I'll forward your suggestions to our product management team.
I see a question here from Igor asking any plans to support MS Entra ID for authentication. Igor, you can use Entra ID with SAML settings in Access Server. And I think we have videos on our YouTube channel that it shows that.
Okay, question: if using pfSense, will OpenVPN automatically update existing firewall rules? So this session is not applicable for OpenVPN community or open source. So if you are using pfSense, it makes use of our open source software. So you would need to check the capabilities with pfSense.
I'm going through the questions. I don't see any other questions here, Rohit, unless if you see anything else that we haven't answered.
No, I don't see anything either.
Okay. Well, if
And
you have any,
you can send questions to support. You can also come to our website and use our chatbot and see how it answers your questions. We have an AI chatbot implementation. You can also chat live with a support agent using our chatbot. You can put in tickets using our support portal. So if something has been left out here, feel free to reach out to us using those means.
yeah, also I want to remind everyone about that group demo that we have every Thursdays. And as I said, next week, as of next week or a couple of weeks, it's going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays. So that's another good place to join us, ask any questions you may have, or if you want to see a most common use cases, we can show those to you as well. Okay, I don't see any other questions. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Have a great day.